Viper, what was it that got you into Star Wars?
As you know, I had a troubled youth. The damage the Viet Cong did to my family, I couldn't find much joy in life. But then in 1977, Star Wars was released in the cinema. I'm not really the kind of guy that's into science fiction or films in general, but there was something about Star Wars that lured me to it. Before my mother was chopped up by the Viet Cong, she screamed. I never understood what she was saying, but in 1977, it was all of a sudden more clear to me. She was saying, "Go see Star Wars in the cinema."
So, while she was being chopped up by the Viet Cong, she told you to go see Star Wars.
Yes, it was the will of the Force. So I bought a ticket from a pimply young man at the booth and sat directly in the middle of the theater to have the most optimal experience.
What did you think of the movie?
It was pure bliss. It was the happiest I ever felt in my life. For 2 hours, I wasn't thinking about the heat, the Viet Cong. I was in a galaxy far, far away.
My deep throat meeting with Sparrow. In recent days, some YouTubers have questioned the accuracy of information that Sparrow has revealed. Some have actually wondered whether this person even exists or is a figment of my imagination. So I will share this story about the time I met with Sparrow in person. For some time, we've been using a trusted intermediary, our Spy Master, who first connected me to Sparrow. We agreed to work through Spy Master in order to protect Sparrow's anonymity. But as the information provided became more detailed and more controversial, I asked that I have a face-to-face with Sparrow directly to confirm the accuracy of their reports. So yes, for those who were doubtful, I have spoken to Sparrow. I have spoken to Sparrow and confirmed for myself that they have access to the information I have presented. At this point, people will choose to believe or not this information. I personally trust Sparrow and know who they are and why they know what they know. That is good enough for me, and I hope for many of you as well.
Who is this Spy Master that connected Kamran to Sparrow? It's Michael Winkler, and he is the YouTube channel Corion Witch in Residence. Kamran Pasha's Spy Master is a witch.
I want to tell you guys the story about how I became a witch.
Here is a post from a few months ago.
Lucas Warriors Episode 5, Sparrow Strikes Back! Sparrow! Oh yeah, spank my ass, Sparrow! War is chaos, and maybe it's time for our side to show a little chaos too. Our Spy Master who runs the Sparrow Op and serves as my bat phone to our interpret source sent the above email through a dummy account to our good friend Carrie Beck, who may or may not be Sparrow herself.
Good day, Agent Sparrow. Just kidding. I know you're not Sparrow, but you should be aware of Pablo's Twitter. The one your bosses don't monitor, posted the attached. It looks like Pablo is trying to stir the pot. They might wish to stop it. This, just a friendly heads up. You don't have to take it. You don't even have to acknowledge it. We are all in alignment that Mrs. Kennedy needs to go. After that, we trust Mr. Iger will take the right call going forward. Take care, Spy Master. P.S. Don't bother having your email admin trace this unless you want him spending the next 6 days chasing IPs from San Diego to the Donbass.
Take a closer look at this email. There's many misspellings, grammar errors. A 4th grader wrote this email. Notice the email address it was sent to. carrie.beck@lucasfilm.com. Not Lucasfilm, Lucasfilm. And we're expected to believe that this is the magical Spy Master that hooked Kamran Pasha up with the mythical Sparrow. Not even his witchcraft could provide a legible document. Perhaps a more traditional function such as spell checker would have sufficed. But who am I to question a witch? A grand Spy Master, a high-ranking individual in Kamran Pasha's Patreon. Kamran actually posted this email thinking it would work well for his con. He received so much backlash, this post was deleted. Even Kamran thought his patrons weren't dumb enough to accept this post. Yet, many stayed loyal to Kamran Pasha, too manipulated by the ancient Pasha method of storytelling. These people couldn't abandon their ways. They were
molded by it.
Cameron, those people mocking you will have egg on their faces. The Black Pills and the G&G crowd have proven to be that which they hate. I only listen to you and Steph. Stephanie Janicek understands Hollywood better than most YouTubers because she worked in Washington, D.C. and knows how the game of power is played. And it is never as it appears on the surface.
Power is a lot like real estate. It's all about location, location, location. The closer you are to the source, the higher your property value. Centuries from now, when people watch this footage, who will they see smiling just at the edge of the frame?
So help me God. Congratulations.
Stephanie Janicek of the Smuggler's Cantina is one of Cameron's top supporters and suspected love interest. She's one of the many YouTubers that make up the Legion of Sparrow. These people help spread the narrative Sparrow creates. Kathleen Kennedy being fired, shows being canceled, movies being canceled, financial crimes, and overall shilling for Disney. The Star Wars clickbait YouTubers have made a killing off of Kathleen Kennedy fired videos. People don't like her. They want to see her fired. There might have been a shot they let her go at the end of her contract in 2021, yet she received a contract extension. And it was only a matter of time before the clickbaiters started up again on this topic. Like it wasn't covered to death before.
List of fired Lucasfilm Story Group members. So I have another major scoop for you from one of our Disney sources. Sparrow. Here's a list of Lucasfilm Story Group members, the infamous Flying Monkeys, and whether they will be removed or kept after the departure of Kathleen Kennedy.
Let's take a look at why these people were removed, according to Sparrow. Pablo Hidalgo, attacking the community leaders, PR problems. Carrie Beck, despises fans. Disney doesn't give a shit about the real fans. Despising fans is considered to be a great quality for them. Introduce Kennedy to the Force's female Nike shirt. Again, Disney does not give two shits about that. They extended Kathleen Kennedy's contract. Matt Martin, argumentative, combative, maybe, hardliner for the Star Wars sequels. So he's being fired because he is a sequel trilogy simp. Disney loves their shit-ass sequel trilogy. That's why they made Galaxy's Edge, the Star Cruiser Hotel. That was a major immersive plan from the beginning, featured around the sequel trilogy. They wouldn't fire anyone for liking and embracing their movies. This Patreon post from Sparrow is just an obvious attempt of Cameron making up shit to push his anti-Kathleen Kennedy, anti-sequel trilogy, save Star Wars propaganda. And if you look at all the names here, none of them have been removed from Lucasfilm. 3 days later,
Lucasfilm in turmoil over HR leak, Kennedy furious! I just heard from our Disney insider that all hell is broken loose inside Lucasfilm. I published my scoops on Patreon. Miss Kennedy is attempting to do damage control and is eating with angry Lucasfilm staffers. She also raged at Bob Iger's team about the HR list, as it appears she was not consulted on it.
But apparently Iger mansplained her about how it's her own fault she's unable to keep information secure inside Lucasfilm.
Kathleen Kennedy learned about Kylo Ren erasure from this Patreon. I burst out laughing in an hysterical fit when I received the latest update from our Disney insider Sparrow. Kathleen Kennedy and her Flying Monkeys had no idea that Kylo Ren had been removed by Jon Favreau from the opening credits of The Mandalorian Season 3, and only found out when our dutiful Lucasfilm spies forwarded my Patreon post internally. According to Sparrow, Jon Favreau removed the Kylo Ren image from the opening collage of Star Wars characters as part of the plan to soft reboot the Disney trilogy. Favreau will be making these kind of minor adjustments moving forward to start preparing the fandom for his new Star Wars universe, one in which the Disney sequels do not exist. They don't exist. And when Kathleen Kennedy moves on, the hard reboot will be executed through Ahsoka, changing the timeline to erase Kennedy's failure.
Cameron thinks that changing an opening collage means something. Maybe they realize it's stupid to have a character that won't appear on screen for a very long time to be in the opening collage for The Mandalorian. February 27th, 2023.
Brace yourselves, friends. We've got a big scoop from our legendary Disney insider Sparrow. And it deals with Kathleen Kennedy's plans for departure and the upcoming Star Wars celebration with the place where it all comes to a head in public at long last. Kathleen Kennedy's departure has been sealed and she will be sent off with a glorious funeral pyre that would make a Viking lord envious. Star Wars Celebration will be one big kiss Kennedy's ass event rather than a celebration of Star Wars itself.
Star Wars Celebration came and Kathleen wasn't fired. How was Cameron? How was Sparrow going to spin this?
How Kathleen Kennedy flipped the Viking funeral and bird on Bob Iger. Since so many people are asking about the Viking funeral that did not materialize at Star Wars Celebration, let me share my perspective.
So when I put the report out about the Viking funeral, the idea being that this celebration would be a celebration of Kathleen Kennedy, would be all about her great accomplishments, and it wouldn't be like her saying I'm resigning. People misinterpreted that. I was like, no, she's not going to say I'm quitting. It would be all about her.
No, you never said that.
No, it's all about her glorious. Look at what she did, Indiana Jones, the long history, and blah 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 blah. And the press packets were structured around that. That's what this conversation started with Sparrow. Sparrow had seen the press packets that were being sent out about a month ago. Iger's arrangement with when she's leaving is that the sign of that will be she'll be given a very glorious reception at this year's Star Wars Celebration, and that will allow her to have her crown, her scepter, and then this summer after Indiana Jones, she'll be able to dignifiedly retire, and did it with lots of fanfare. And Sparrow said at the time, and I reported in my original article, she didn't want to do it. Sparrow said she resisted it and was telling Iger she didn't want that, she wanted, because she's saying this is creating the impression that I'm leaving. Now I'm going to embarrass him publicly. I'm going to do the one thing he doesn't expect. I'm going to announce all these projects he hasn't given me any permission for. I'm going to turn the narrative from Viking funeral of look at all your greatest accomplishments, here's your trophy, to I'm going to be here for another 10 years because I got all these projects in the works. She flipped the announcement and she didn't tell anybody.
But the trades, which are built on PR and deception, aren't buying it. That, to me, is the greatest sign that the era of Kathleen Kennedy inside Hollywood is over. Sparrow!
Oh, so Sparrow predicted Kathleen Kennedy was being fired after Celebration. She wasn't fired. However, this is only a sign that her era is over. People actually subscribe to this Patreon. People like Stephanie Janison.
I'm doing my part.
I did leave a link to Cameron's Patreon.
Would you like to know more?
This is very common with Cameron and other scam artists on the internet. They make a prediction. If it magically happens, they are going to boast about it and never let you hear the end of it. If it doesn't happen, they're going to make an excuse and lead you down another road of fiction.
The celebration got a lot of people very riled up, right? But for me, I was like, well, okay, this is the next step in the chess game we're playing. Our good friend Corian Witch on Residence actually did a wonderful video on his channel about the chess game that Bob Iger is playing with Kathleen Kennedy, and people should check that out. And because the events that happened this weekend fit into it.
Kathleen Kennedy is going to be free to think she is she's winning with Marvel and Pixar. She's going to announce everything, get it all out. And then when the pressure is on, Iger will sacrifice KK and Leslie, let Marvel and Pixar clean up, and then when no one is looking, John takes over at Lucasfilm and cans everything not in his and Iger's plan.
They will continue leading you down different roads until you have completely forgotten what started you on this journey in the first place. Oh, but according to Cameron, you're not supposed to take Sparrow literally.
I suggest not being so literalist in reading Sparrow's words. My critics in the fandom have no ability to read nuance in words and thus attack me as a liar. Me, Kamran Pasha, a liar. Words have nuance and we need not to become literal fundamentalists or we will become like the blobs.
Yeah, when Sparrow says something that doesn't happen, don't take it literally. Don't become a blob and lose faith in Sparrow and Lucasfilm. And certainly don't unsubscribe from this Patreon. If we aren't supposed to take Sparrow literally, what about Bluebird, Cameron's other source?
Longtime Disney employee Bluebird, they know how the company works and this is how they interpreted these events. All the signs you wrote in your post led me to one thing and to one thing only. Kathleen has been canned. Lucasfilm is under internal audits and they will announce her departure right after Indy 5.
I'm afraid you're wrong. You are through here.
Indy 5 came, it bombed at the box office, and Kathleen Kennedy wasn't fired. August 30th, 2023.
Why Kennedy was on the Ahsoka press releases. Many of you have been wondering why Kathleen Kennedy is still quoted in the recent Ahsoka press releases. I asked our Disney insider Sparrow that yesterday, and the bat phone rang this afternoon. Oh my god, it's the bat phone, I gotta get that. Hello, this is Kamran Pasha. Here's what they had to say. The Nazgul have apparently told Kennedy that she has to do busy work if she wants to keep the empty title of president, including reading scripts and story documents, and she has to file a daily report on her activities like a truant school child put in detention. Oh my god!
Yeah, a sitting president at a company. This is another common narrative that is popular with Kathleen Kennedy. They claim she's being fired.
Future Star Wars content.
That never happens. But don't worry, it's coming, and she's not going in the office having a great time enjoying life. When she goes in the office, she is dehumanized. She has no power to do her job. She is treated like a child. She's miserable and is on the verge of quitting or being fired. People continue to believe sources like Sparrow because they enjoy the idea of Kathleen Kennedy suffering.
So there you go, the latest in the bizarre story that is Kathleen Kennedy's life. This water torture will continue until they can formally oust her, or she resigns under pressure, or her contract runs out. So it looks like we will continue to hear Kennedy's name in the background, like the annoying buzz of a fly. You just can't swat. Buzz, buzz, get out of here, fly. Get out of here.
Formally fire her, resigns, or her contract runs out. Sparrow has all three possibilities covered. This allows Kamran the ability to spread his fake news for many more months. So as long as you're subscribed to Kamran Pasha's Patreon, the ancient Pasha method of storytelling will not disappoint and deliver the Kathleen Kennedy fake news. On the next episode of the Sparrow Files, I take a closer look at some major scoops from Sparrow. What else is Kamran Pasha saying about Disney Star Wars? And what possible financial scandal has Sparrow uncovered? Next time, we go deeper into the web of lies. I'm Darth Melvin, leader of the Knights of Melvin, and this is the Sparrow Files.